welcome to Dream Interpretation. This is the Shadows of Dreams. I hope everybody is ready for a good show. And Dream Interpretations is not exactly what everybody thinks. They think, oh, well, I see this one thing in my dream. Is that really what it means? Not necessarily. But a good dream show isn't a good dream show without my host, Kay.
Hello.
Co-captain over here. Captain my captain.
I see somebody saying, looking so snazzy tonight, Journey. He does look snazzy.
I'm all in my PJs. I'm all in my PJs. It's the dream show.
I'm in my PJs too. I look just snazzy,
you look snazzy as hell. You going to bed dolled up, looking fly as hell. You're gonna wake up and be like, damn, I look good.
Like I wake up like this.
I got my hair slicked back, knowing I'm gonna go to bed and glasses on, ready to read whatever it is. It's a crazy time at night. So we're here. And she says, so beautiful, Kay. Loving your butterfly necklace. That is like an eye catcher for everybody for you.
Love my butterfly.
She says, I would have never known you were in your PJs.
It is a robe. It is a robe.
And it was open season there for a second.
What it takes.
Right. We've got some great dreams coming through, guys. We're going to be breaking these down. So, guys, everybody, let's dive in. We're going to talk about what the dreams mean and, how we do things here. If you haven't been here before, if you have a dream you'd like to discuss and get some insight on, tell us that dream. Give us some insight. Tell us what happened. Let us know every little detail that you can remember. Even if it's as simple as I was standing up, I was sitting down, I was in the middle of a field. It was raining. It was lightning, but there wasn't no rain. It was windy. I couldn't see any other color but the color yellow. Those small details mean a lot when it comes to dream interpretation. So, guys, make sure we're telling every little detail that we can, and we appreciate it. That way we can dive deep. So, starting off with Kay, here we go. We're going to get into this dream interpretation.
All right, we have our first dream by Lexi. Lexi says, I do have a dream that I would love some insight on, but I'm not sure how to explain it. There is a lot of jumping around. It's been a reoccurring dream that I've had since I was a child that pops up sometimes. I'm about 11 years old. My mother and I get kidnapped and end up tied to a pole in a random backyard. It's in a neighborhood filled with unoccupied houses, and there's tiki torches everywhere and a bonfire with creepy guys in masks dancing around like we are about to be sacrificed. Somehow we end up escaping and crawling under the house, and then it jumps to us climbing into the back of a moving van to get away, while the guys in the mask are chasing the van down the street. I have no idea what it means. I'm 26 now, and I've been having it for as long as I can remember. Very interesting. So one thing that I see to focus on is the age, that 11, right? There's still so much of that innocence, but at the same time, that's an age where you can be more cognitive of things that are happening around you. I would say there may have been something that kind of triggered this feeling of feeling trapped or stuck, because when we're getting kidnapped, when we're being held beyond our will, when we're being tied to things, right? Those are all feelings of being trapped, having no sense of control. So that's the second time over here where we see a lack of control. One being your age, having no control. Two, being trapped. Then you were with someone who you would look to for support or help, right? You're with your mother, but even she was beyond capable of having that help. So were you around certain scenarios where you've seen her kind of be helpless, and then therefore you are also helpless. There's also with the being able to get away, there is a release there, but there at the same time, there's still this energy that feels like, especially since you're still having this dream, you've recurrently had this dream. There's still some things that I feel like are not quite resolved or healed or moved on from. This dream overall feels like a very it's a triggering dream, right? It's a dream that would make one feel very anxious. When we see the unoccupied houses, that was another thing you mentioned. There were a lot of unoccupied houses, but the tiki torches were around. So tiki torches are very symbolic of a kind of a cultural aspect of things. So I do find that kind of interesting, as if there is um, something here where it almost feels very ritualistic. Jerry may have something with that. Um, I just kind of get an energy of something very ritualistic in regards to that fire, the torches being surrounding around you guys. But also with those unoccupied houses that were there, um, there's a lot of emptiness that comes around too, especially being surrounded in a neighborhood of unoccupied houses. So, a lot of this is just so many feelings of trap, loneliness, abandonment, helplessness, um, innocence, uh, but still being able to manage to get through it. So, I mean, there's a lot of overcomings too that comes here. Maybe one thing you may want to look back or reflect on is just kind of what was happening around that specific time whenever you were having this dream that may have triggered some of these feelings. A lot of subconscious seems to play into this dream. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Journey.
All right. My turn. My turn. All right. So, looking at the dream, when Kay was reading it, I was taking a look at it as well. So, the age of 11, definitely the ages of innocent, youth, and not having authority. So, you have, in a sense, in the dream, that you have no power. So there was nothing you could do, but you had somebody that could provide that power for you. Now, jumping, since your dream jumps, I'm going to jump to it as well through it, because when I got to the unoccupied houses, that was showing me that there was no stability. So there was a lack of stability. And I'm wondering if in your younger years, was there, did you move around a lot? Um, did you move around a lot? Didn't stay in a certain place for a long period of time? And I'm going to tell you right now that what you're doing and what is going on, what was going on in your life at that time, and it's still occurring now, is that you never had that conversation or expressed how you felt about being jumped around or moved around or not having that stability in your life. And it's a part of you that's still trying to figure out, why weren't we stable? Now, the guys that were in these masks, the person that your mother was with, I'm I'm going to assume that this person is not your father, and possibly maybe whoever was in your mom's life you didn't feel comfortable with, or you didn't feel comfortable around their family. You felt like they were wearing masks, that they were evil. That's something that I pick up around, that feeling like you're that sacrificial lamb because of that innocence, that young energy that you had during that time of, you're 26 now and you still feel that. So there's a part of PTSD connected to that. So you're still feeling, you know, that you're still innocent, that you're still, not having control over your life, and that someone else is controlling your life, and you need to find that peace within yourself in order. Now, the tiki torches, that is a ritual type energy. But the thing about it is that you're being shown the light. You're seeing things for what they are. Those tiki torches are a representation of your own light, allowing you to see what is happening here, allowing you to see those people for who they are. And it gave you just enough light to see that these people were doing something that was not normal, that was against what you guys were doing. And then you guys jumping in a van and driving away has everything to do with how fast you wanted to get away from these people. Um, if the mask were to be taken off, you would recognize the people in this dream. You would recognize every single person. And the thing about it is that they were all males. So very male dominated, very masculine energy. So what it just tells me is that technically the people in the waking life are not all male, but they have a very powerful masculine energy. So these people made you feel uncomfortable. You didn't feel safe with them. And the only person that you truly felt safe around was your mom. So that connection to her gave you some start, like a form of protection or a form to, stick up for me. I need you to stick up for me. And the van was your only way to get away. That means you moved on. As you got older, that you got more distant from the people that made you uncomfortable. But in your waking day life now, the reason you go back to this dream is because of the same feeling that still exists today, just coming from a different group of people. So some of the people in your groups, maybe friend groups, things of that nature that are making you feel uncomfortable, you need to cut those people out because they're not doing you any justice and it's not going to benefit you. So if I were you, I would start looking at the situation around the people that make you feel uncomfortable or the people that make you feel a certain way, even if it's behind the scenes. Cut those people out, separate yourself from that energy because I don't believe that they're worth your time, and it's giving you that same insecurity you had when you were 11 years old having this dream. So the dream only comes up when you have these insecurities. So Lexi, you really need to pay attention to those people that are making you feel these insecurities because these insecurities are getting stronger and they're taking over, and the last thing you want is for that to happen. And it looks like today it's still happening. It's PTSD, man. That's real. That's real. It's
Yeah.
real. It's never going to go away until you address the issue.
Yeah, that's a hefty one.
Yeah,
I
that's
always say the ones
I don't.
that you can remember still from childhood,
Yeah.
there's a lot packed into this.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. All right. All right, guys. Just so everybody knows that's walking in, this is a dream show. So if you have a dream that you would like to communicate about, please do so. If you are looking for a psychic reading, you guys can join me tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern on Thursday to get those psychic readings. That's 10 p.m. Eastern on Journey Ryan Live. All right, we're going to keep on with the dreams, and I am up now. Whoop, whoop, here I go. All right, who is my next dream? All right. Ishka says, I've been having dreams recently about my ex best friend. We parted on good terms, but yeah, I didn't want the friendship to end. I've been having these dreams where I feel an intense urge to reach out, but I'm not sure if it's any significant. If it, yeah, if I'm not sure if they've had any significance, but yes, what I've been seeing. Plus, it's been a good 6 months since the friendship ended. Okay, so right off the bat, when it comes to this, I want to say that this friendship seems more of a masculine one. I want to say it's more of a male energy that I'm seeing here, and this is a missing a person. So this has a lot of desire to want to communicate. So this dream is just like something you're thinking about before you're going to bed. It's something you're thinking about in your waking life. You're missing this person in your life. You would really want to connect with them. And so it's really bleeding into your trying to get yourself to process, do I really want this? Is this really what I want? So a lot of desires when it comes to this. So I that's really what I got about that dream is that there's a ton of desire. I'm going to see if Kay's got a little bit more to add to that, but that is what I'm picking up.
Literally, I had it underlined and circled in my notebook. Desire. This is a desire dream. 110%. Ishka said it's true. Yeah, I feel like there's a huge sense of you that is pulling in that energetic direction that's wanting that person. I don't believe this will be the only dream that you'll have of them. I feel like it'll keep pulling on your heart until you reach out. What I would say is take the time to, if this is something that you found value in, give it time to go ahead and reach out. Otherwise, it's going to keep haunting you till you do or until something changes. But I hope that helps, my lovely.
When we get those dreams or where we're missing somebody very deeply, we're going to have those desire dreams. We're going to feel that energy. It's going to come through so strong, and we're going to wish that that person was there. And so, yeah, we're going to find a way to try to process that in our minds because um, we want we want the dream to come true. We want to be able to reconnect with them. And but the dream is also going to show you pieces that you may not be remembering right now. And when we don't remember parts of the dream, those are the parts we've comprehended. We've understood that. And Ishka, I believe that's why you haven't, you know, made the phone call because you accepted a part of the dream, but there's another part of it that's kind of like, why am I having this dream?
Mhm.
Why am I continuously having this dream? I know that it's been 6 months later. I've accepted that we've parted. We've done so. And the thing is you said we parted on good terms, but you parted on their terms. You didn't part on your terms, and your terms are not being met. And this is why this desire is coming up so strongly. It doesn't disqualify it as a dream, but you're trying to process it, and that's a natural part of the whole thing. And Ishka says, "Yeah, that would make sense." And it feels too intense in the dream, but after waking up, it tapers down. Right, but you're still you didn't get what you wanted out of the situation. So yours is more based on, what you're going through, how you felt. You didn't get it's almost like you didn't feel like you got heard when this separation happens between you and your friend. And so your your energy, your voice, how you felt feels like it fell on deaf ears. So, and you were surprised that this person was capable of walking away without contact when you desperately would love to communicate with them. And I don't say desperately in a bad way, but it would touch your heart to hear from them. So you're trying to process that. It's part of the healing process. So we definitely go through those types of desires. Have those desire dreams. They are a part of what we want. We when we say manifest things, we do manifest them. Even in our sleep, we can manifest things. And she put yes, 100%. Yeah, it felt very one sided for her to try to process that that dream. So just because it's a desired dream doesn't mean it's not meaningful to you. It's the reason why you're dreaming it in the first place.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have meaning to you, and your feelings are always extremely valid,
Absolutely.
no matter what they are. And when you've been through something, especially as intense as a friendship is still a relationship.
Absolutely.
So you're going to have these emotions, and they'll definitely trickle into your regular thoughts. Why not into dream world?
And that's how we process the things that you're thinking about during the day come through in our dreams so we can process them. We don't always remember those because we've accepted, we were able to understand the symbolism.
Mhm.
But in this dream, there's a wall blocking you from accepting what is here because you weren't heard, and that keeps you from being able to move forward. It keeps you from being able to accept things for what they are, and it hurts. Pain will keep you from accepting things too. She goes, "Yeah, we didn't go a single day without speaking, and now we've not spoken in months." Right. And that was not the way you intended that to go. So subconsciously, you're trying to process that. You're trying to accept it. And so your mind is trying to accept it. Your heart is not allowing it to happen because your heart is broken because what had come about was not what you thought would happen. And the only reason that you would allow yourself to separate in that way is that the fact that you guys would talk sparingly over time, not total silence without communication. So the total silence is why the dream keeps reoccurring. And when we say desire dream, that doesn't mean a dream that, oh, that's just what you wish to happen. Like like Kay was saying, you know, your feelings are valid and you're trying to process those feelings. You're trying to process them in a logical mindset, but also with your heart trying to tell you what you feel and what you want and what you need. But it's, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to
Mhm.
process. But Ishka, thank you so much for that. What were you going to say there?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing. I was like, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Anybody out there that would like to bring forth their dream and talk more about it? I spaced again, almost missed y'all. Amanda. Well, hello, Amanda. Anybody else that would like to provide us with a dream and tell us a little bit about it so we can break it down and give you guys some insight on on these dreams? I know there's one thing about dreams that people get a lot of misunderstanding for. Ishka said, "Thank you. You are so welcome." And good luck with trying to bring that friendship back together. And Amanda says, "Hi, beautiful people." Hi, Amanda.
Hi,
And
Amanda.
so, you know, one thing people get that misunderstand some parts of their dreams is like, I know we all want those family members that have passed and they show up in our dreams. Not always is it the person that we are hoping that are coming to bring us a message. It's not necessarily always a message, depending on how the dream is, which will give us the interpretation in which you're supposed to be receiving information. If the person's acting unlike themselves, they're not being the person you knew them to be, that is not them. That is, who was that person in your life? Were they your strength? Were they the love of your life? Were they the biggest asshole you'd ever met? Why am I dreaming of this, you know, asshole? There's reasons for it, and you're going to be able to see what the dream depicts. That's why we want to know as much information as possible, because just knowing that someone came into your dream is not enough to give enough information on to process everything that your mind is going through and what you're trying to accept when it comes to people being in your dreams.
Right.
Because I know a lot of people are like, I had a dream of my dad and he was in my dream, but he wasn't being himself. I was like, because that wasn't him.
Yep. They take shape of something else, that's for sure. Don't be deceived.
Exactly. We can be deceived, most definitely. That's why when I see people that read like dream books, they're like, oh, the crow means this. Does it? Let's find out what the dream is about. It's more than just a crow. Let's find out. Oh, you just found out it's not a crow, it's a raven. Oh, now we're diving deep. We're going further. So there's a lot to depict when it comes to dreams. So not one book is going to have the answer. It's kind of like a tarot card. As you hold it right, um, holding it upright, it has one meaning. But if it's reversed, it means upside down, it has another meaning. And it also has a different meaning where it's placed in the reading.
Yeah.
So it molds
Always
itself.
say that it matters. Placement matters with tarot.
Absolutely.
Questions matter.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why we're always telling everybody, be specific with your questions so we can dive right in. So we're not talking about something you already know and wasting your time with something you already know, rather than providing the answer in which you're truly seeking. Specific energy is always going to give you the best reading. And I always tell people to clear their minds and get ready, because we're going to dive deep. And I do that with everybody who gets those one-on-one readings with me, is like, clear your mind. You know, we need to think about the one thing. What is it that you want to know? How are we going to get there? Let's check it out. And then I dive deep into it. All right, guys. Well, I do have some news. The dream show is going to be moved to a new time and a location. So, guys, get ready for that. We'll be letting you guys know because midnight does take a toll on you, especially if you work the night shift. So, we are going to be moving to an earlier time slot, and we will be letting you guys know which time that's going to be. But we do have a dream coming up, so let's go ahead and put Kay on the screen and bring up this dream.
All right, we have Amanda. Amanda said, I had a dream where was sitting outside with mom and uncle talking like I have so many times. He said, everything will be okay. We'll figure it out. And then a gray and white wood came walking towards us. I walked up to it protectively, one worried if it was up to no good, and it came to me, wanting me to pet his tummy.
A gray and white what came?
Yeah, I was a little confused because it said a gray and white wood came. If you could just
I'm assuming wood is supposed to be wolf. And wood came up as a typo.
maybe. Okay. Let me see the first part of it again. It is wolf. Okay. Okay. So that's so long. Okay. So there was no fear at all. And especially when an animal, a wolf no less, right, exposes their belly to you, that means there's a lot of trust that is given there as well. So even considering the fact that your uncle was like, hey, don't worry, everything's going to be okay, everything's fine, a lot of this energy and I don't know the significance of your family members, those two specific family members, those that are to you, but I almost feel like there's some sense of security that was trying to be provided to you. Also, I don't know when you had this dream, but this is like telling you like this was almost a safe place. Something that you may have feared wasn't something that you necessarily needed to fear or have worries or doubts about. Um, I like the energy though that it was a wolf because all of that, I mean, there's the qualities of a wolf, the things that it how it protects, how it runs in a pack, all of those elements, you're getting all of that energy too. And you are feeling very protective. You're feeling like you need to tend to it. So there may be something that you were trying to handle around that time or certain things that you were trying to take care of, but you also had support that seems to be really big. You don't really have a need to fear. You don't have a need to worry. You may have been in a situation or even may have a situation that may be upcoming that may have that cause for a big stress, but you'll be able to get through that. Amanda said, then a big black dog did the same. Then came the little girl looking for them, plus a black cat. Only fussy thing was the little girl, and I can't remember how it looked. So again, you've got all of these different animals that are coming that you are able to provide that sense of security to. The girl, that there's that youthfulness, and I'm wondering if that girl was did you see what the girl looked like? Because I almost feel like maybe this girl may have been a rendition of you, may have been a version of you that had those senses of uncertainty and those anxieties and things like that. Because that's the only one that was not feeling safe and secure. But you felt like you needed, these all were coming from her. It really feels like this is you. This feels like it's a mirrored youth version of yourself. um, and then you're being shown and guided that she says, I can't remember that part. Just I feel like it's something there. We'll see what Journey says too, but I feel like there's something to that because I feel like you were kind of being shown that this was an obstacle that you could get through. All of these, even these animals that you're speaking of, are all ones that are very pretty much loyal and consistent as well. Um, and then when we think of black and we think of white, typically we think of the polar opposites, the karmic cycles, um, good, bad, etc. So I don't know. There's a lot of really good energy that I kind of feel like that comes from this entire dream because a lot of this feels like she says my uncle is not best. Another guardian, someone who may be watching out for you. You have this underlying protection that it seems like you have to realize that you have, that you're able to utilize and help have, for your benefit. um but again, this is really, really interesting. She said, I used to always dream of two wolves, one white and one black. White and black, I find so much of having the polarity, the things that we are meant to see, like shadow selves, and that lighter side that we're supposed to see as well. I feel like there's just a lot of balance that comes from those two things. And again, I really like the protective energy of the animals because that speaks volumes of that, healing nature, that energetic nature, and especially them exposing their belly, one after the other coming through. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Journey.
All right, Amanda. So taking a look at what you were saying, and you right off the bat, you said that this is a gray wolf. You got to rub its tummy. Your family was there trying to let you know that things were going to be okay. And I'm going to tell you right now that the wolves used to be white and black. Now the wolf's coming to you as it's gray. I mean, it's a mixture of both. And now the dream is of you at the age you are today versus the age you were, which you saw yourself. I do agree with Kay. This thing that was fussy was you. You were fussy. And them repeating to you that things are going to be all right. I honestly feel like the dream that's coming up that's constant is that you are in a place where you feel the need to want to be protected. You need to feel safe. You need to have your guardians around you. She goes, was gray on shoulders, the rest was white. But see, the black and the white had still merged, which creates a gray wolf. And so the white is shining through a little bit more because you want things to be a lot lighter. You want things to be a little bit more pure. You want things to be a little bit of everything. When it comes down to what you've got going on, I really truly believe that you are going to um, really look at your situation. What are things that you can live without? What things are what you can't live without? Who's controlling you? Who's who's there for you? And the passing of your uncle being in the dream is the uncle was somebody you looked up to, someone you cared about, someone that you could talk to. And right now you're not feeling like you could open up your voice and communicate that because you don't have that same energy. And she said, yes, it makes sense. But the thing about it is that you moving forward in life, knowing that if you make the choices that are truly necessary for you, whether you feel anxiety about those, it is definitely telling me that you are going to be okay, but you're not allowing yourself to feel okay. So subconsciously, you know that things can be okay, but on a heart level, there's a fear that is telling you it's not going to be okay. So you need to allow yourself to trust in yourself and allow yourself to say, yes, they may not be as they were, and change can be scary, but do not let fear rule you because it is ruling you right now. And that is not a good thing. Uh, hey, went out for food. Says, yes, that makes sense. But the thing is that I feel as though if you allow yourself to speak your mind, don't be scared of the changes that come your way because in the long run, they're going to be better for you and they're not going to go against you. So open yourself up, be ready to communicate. Don't let anyone hold you back. You still have people on your side and open up that door so you can accept this part of your dream and watch how much this dream changes. She goes, things have been crappy so long. So, yes, part feels it will always be. But the reason things are so crappy is because the fear has controlled you and you haven't made the changes necessary in order to clear the crap away. Honey, it's called a shovel. Toss it over your shoulder. Allow yourself to speak what needs to be spoken, speak your truth, allow your feelings to come to the surface because your feelings matter. As your family came in as protectors, they were letting you know that you are safe, you are protected, and you're not allowing yourself to do that. That little girl that was so angry is the one person inside right now that is complaining about. That girl is trying to tell you, you are so angry. Stop letting them control you. That's what that little girl is showing you. As you've seen, the guardians, which is the wolf pack, the dog, the cat, all the cat is a familiar. The dogs are there for they are your pack, basically your love and connection to animals that you always feel safe around. There's a lot going on in this dream. And so everything says that you can be safe and you can still have what you need. But this little girl is trying to show you, speak up, get angry about it because you're being disrespected. Don't let yourself get disrespected. Open up that throat chakra. You need to get yourself one of these. I'm telling you right now. Telling you right now. So just allow yourself the freedom to speak out. Allow yourself your freedom to communicate because it is really keeping you in this cycle, and it's definitely going to it's not going to change until you do. So you will continue to keep having this dream.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello, hello, and welcome if you're coming in. And if you have a specific dream, go ahead and drop it.
Lexi says, I just got home. I was listening to the whole way home, slapping my husband, saying, "Can you hear this?" I dare near cried. The accuracy of both of what both of you had to say was insane. Thank you so much. Both. Yes, you are so welcome. There was a lot to that dream, even though it didn't feel like a lot. There was a lot.
There was a lot to unpack.
Oh yeah, always. Always. All right. So I think it's my turn to start, right?
Your turn.
All right. Yep. Because I just finished up with Amanda. Okay. So we've got squirrels. She says this is probably worry and stress, but last week I had a weird dream where we were in a strange place that was more like a military common room than a home. My husband was sitting in a green lumpy couch with light wooden arms, and he said, when I go to work tomorrow, I won't be coming back, so don't wait for me. I didn't say anything because it didn't make sense. Then my nephew came in the room and sat on a matching but larger couch. He was wearing blue jeans and a black shirt and had his face painted with dark camouflage. He said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm your Aunt Squirrel." My nephew shook his head and said, You are not her, but I remember you." And then he looked at my husband and said, "But I don't remember him." And then I woke up. For some reason, it shook me. So this actually does have a lot to do with like stresses and things that are going on. So squirrel, with the things that are going on, the common room didn't feel like your home because where you're currently living at the moment still doesn't feel like home to you. This house has never truly felt like home to you, even though it has been home for you, but it's not where you thought you'd be. So that stands out to me. The color of the couch reminds you of a color of a couch that was in a home. It's a familiar thing to you. So that I was connecting with. I'm sure Kay's going to jump in that color scheme there because I know how she is with that. But the thing about it is that I can feel the changes in your life. You're not feeling like who you are. Looking at your nephew, seeing him in camouflage. Are you being a chameleon? Are you blending in so you can be accepted? And she put, "Oh my God, so true." And duh me. She says, was in a big sprawling city with family members who I had a rocky history with. We were
Well,
looking
that's
for
someone else.
oh shit. I saw the SK and jumped right on it. But the thing about it is that when you were in this room, your husband's not feeling comfortable either, and you know that. But him saying that he wasn't coming home is him not speaking out and saying that he is not comfortable where you guys are at. So I definitely feel that it's still about trying to be comfortable within the place. And there's also a part of you that, and I'm going to say this, but there is a part of you that wants to leave. You don't want to stay. And she put, "Oh, that is brother." Yeah, that was him. Um, but yeah, I definitely feel like things are there's too much. A lot of change happens really quickly, and it's okay when change happens to you. But when change takes on, okay,
Hello.
change takes on this for your entire family, then it makes a big difference. So there's a huge impact. And you don't like to have your direct family, like your husband or your children, in that type of environment, because it's okay for you to feel this way because you feel that you can handle it, but you have that protective nature that wants to protect them as well. She goes, it's my nephew that got hit by a dummy around in the military. He lived, but he was a mess. And she goes, I keep singing that King Crimson song about the car in the junkyard. I want to leave here. I don't want to die here. So that's exactly right. So this is not your forever home. Where you're at now is not where you want to be forever. And because so many things have happened, so much change has happened, this is not the place you want to stay. This is not the place you want to continue being a part of. So I want you to really sit down and tell yourself, is this what I want? Now, when it comes down to all these different family members and bad history, that's also things that are popping up. And certain circumstances that just recently happened is making you feel these intentions of wanting to run, or your opportunity to run is coming. So it's something I want you to think about without spilling all the beans to your life. I definitely want you to really think about what's about to happen, your opportunities to allow it to happen, and then moving forward so you could do so. Okay, squirrel? But I am going to pass this over to Kay and see what she's got to say on it.
So one of the things that stood out to me was the couches. You mentioned them. You mentioned how one was even larger than the other. And when we think of couches, there you could either go in comfort or being lazy, right? One or the other. Um, you felt very discomforted in this story. You felt discomforted even when you woke up. Nothing really fit or seemed right in the entire dream. Your husband making the comment of he's leaving, he's not coming back, and your nephew not even recognizing who you were. You know, the camouflage, things not quite being seen the way that they should be seen. Um, it almost just seems like there's kind of a lot of chaos that may be in the home front. When you think it, you go back to the military, because you said it was on a military base too. There's almost this forced sense of structure. You're being forced to live your life maybe right now, with some things that you're not comfortable with, the people you're close to aren't comfortable with, but it's something that you're almost forced into, or that you're stuck in this kind of habit of having to do right now. I think a huge part of this is saying that you may need to. Squirrel says it would destroy her if I left. But a part of this is kind of saying that, the person who you are most comfortable with, being your husband, even wants to go. Squirrel said, "Oh yeah, I was sitting cross-legged on the floor. I didn't want anything to do with those ugly couches." And I feel like there's a thing here where you're going to need to make a decision because you're losing people aren't recognizing you for who you are. You're losing a part of yourself by being stuck in this place that's not yours. Of a place where you're forced into certain routines or habits that you don't want to have. It doesn't fit the lifestyle that your husband is used to either. There's a lot of, to me, I feel so much separation, so much stress, uh, the pressure. That's huge too. It feels like there's a lot of pressure. Girl says, "Oh yeah, it's not the best environment." Yeah, there's a lot. It just feels very regimented, and you're not having that time for you to be yourself. The camouflage face, the saying, "Oh, I recognize, like I don't know who you are, but I know who you are." All of this, it's this identity crisis almost. Girl says, absolutely, that you're kind of going through, and the people around you can recognize that. I think, we were actually just talking about this earlier when Journey was saying that people can be in your dreams, but it may not be those exact people. I feel like there was a lot of representation in this dream too. Like, I feel like the nephew may have just been a representation of you seeing someone who, went through something really extreme, and now look at where they're at on the other side. Squirrel said I would be a basket case without y'all. um, but yeah, I kind of feel like there's something to this dream here where I just feel like you're supposed to be becoming more aware. The fact that you woke up and you were still so taken aback, by the dream and how much it bothered you. I would say that more than likely that there's these things are very present in your waking life, and it does freak you out. But it's also things that you have to find resolution in. Otherwise, again, you'll keep having those kind of dreams. But I hope that helps, Squirrel. Definitely seen that you're really interactive with that, so I'm sure it resonated.
Yeah, that, you know, making that decision is devastating to you in the way, but you are not telling yourself. I feel you are trying to subconsciously tell yourself you don't even recognize you. And that's why everybody else that was so family oriented didn't recognize you. It's because you can't recognize yourself. She says, but honor, duty, and family are part of who I am, and I think it might destroy me to leave her too. But the thing is that you are telling yourself subconsciously, it is tearing me apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not recognize myself. And neither do the people who love me. And those, like your husband saying, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back, so don't wait up, shakes you to your core because it is a fear of yours. That fear is strong. That's why you're shook.
And that green couch green is heart chakra.
Oh, yeah. That's why I said, wait for it. She's got the green color for you.
All about that.
I couldn't say everything, gotta leave some. Gotta leave some. Can't say everything. And she put truth, and then the only time I get to be me is here. That says that should speak volume to you. That should speak volume to you. Are you living your life for yourself, or are you living your life for others? Because if you lose yourself, those who love you for who you are could be people that you could lose out of your life to give to someone who is maybe more toxic. And they know how to draw on your heartstrings. That's why it was family that was the one, I don't recognize you. And that military meanness, there's a toughness with that. And you sitting, rather than sitting on the couch, to be near those who are loved ones on this couch, you would rather sit on the floor, meaning you're separating yourself. Inside, you have separated yourself. So the real you is not enjoying life because you have to be somebody else to make them happy. It's not about their happiness. This is your life to live. And that is not a pun, like a pun to any daytime movie TV stuff, but this is your life to live, not theirs.
They put daily shows with Squirrel.
Big hug, Squirrely. Love you, hun.
Um,
You got all the support that you need, and this is what people love about you. So don't lose yourself to somebody else, because what happens is eventually that will overtake who you are here as well. And you will find yourself in a place that you don't even want to be a part of anymore. And you won't want to be here anymore. And that will change your complete life. And here's one other thing I can add to that is knowing that this person also doesn't want you to be here because you are yourself when you are here. And Squirrel said, yep, she tries every day to keep me from coming to work with y'all, but that is one boundary I cannot let go of. Absolutely. She does not want you to be here because you get to be yourself. Also, you gain strength from the people who support you here.
And if it's something that causes you to not be your authentic self, then it's not something that should be in your life.
Exactly right. It should not be there. She goes, love you guys so much. We love you too, Squirrel. We love you too, girl. Just don't, whether it be family, whether it be our mothers, our fathers, our aunts, our uncles, our grandparents, if they are putting you in a place where you cannot be yourself, you cannot live your authentic self, then you need to get out of that. When I came to terms with who I was, how I thought people would react, I couldn't live a secret. I couldn't live a lie. So I had to be honest. And I was surprised by the reaction of my own family, knowing the background of it not being accepted. And so I took that risk, even though I knew what it meant, but I had to live my truth. But I also had to let them know that this is who I am. You can love me or leave me, but I will always love you, rather, even if you don't love me in the same way.
Yeah.
And you need to live that same life, that same truth. You need your own coming out story. And you being Squirrel needs to happen. Don't let anybody take that from you. All right. Wow, that was a very powerful, meaningful dream, Squirrel. Very powerful, meaningful. All right, guys, we're going to try to get to at least one more before we go because we're running short on time. So
let's see what we can do.
That was okay. Yep, it's your turn now. Okay, I'm there. I got it.
There we go. We have Squirrel. Was in a big sprawling city with a family member who I've had a rocky history with. We were looking for something, can't remember what. We went to a big building that was a part residential, part business. That was huge with lots and lots of floors and lobbies and people everywhere. Potted plants everywhere, but it still felt gray and boring. We were just chatting, but it felt uncomfortable the whole time. Oh, just everything was gray except for some bluish grass, and everyone seemed like they were waiting for something and tired of it. I kept hearing Suspicious Minds by Elvis Presley in the dream too. Glass, not grass. Okay. Eventually, family members and I started fighting, and he started getting uncomfortably close and grabbing and quartering me until I woke up. It's one of my favorite Elvis songs. It's not often a song is that clear in my dream either, but there was no mistaking it. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not huge on Elvis, so I do not know the song. So if there's more context meaning in the song, maybe Journey knows it. An Elvis person. But what I did get, one of the things, and it's interesting because much later down you actually said this with the discomfort. But I get overall in the dream was there was a lot of uncomfortability being in a super crowded situation with plants and people and this and that and everything all around, and there's no space, and it's in this part residential area. This is it sounds like there's so much crowding in, and it seems like you were screaming for space. Even having that sense of familiarity with the family member, but still having conflict with them in the long run. Okay, there's some disdain that's there as well. So there may be some people you're not getting along with in a professional aspect, but also in personal aspects of your life. And I would say there's probably a huge sense of a need for you to declutter. Uh, One of the things that you also mentioned was like the one of the only actual physical colors you were seeing was blue, which can indicate you may need to speak up a little bit more about something or being more open about something because everything can't continue to stay in this kind of bland norm, if you will. Squirrel says blue and green. So there's something you may need to speak from. And then it was family too, because you were saying they were making you very uncomfortable, cornering you in a certain way. Squirrel says exactly. Cornering you in this certain direction and trying to me it's like force their will, force their opinion, force their whatever onto you, right? And you're already in all of this chaotic energy. I think there's something here you need to stand 10 toes down on. I feel like a lot of people are putting a lot of their own issues or things into your life, and it's all piling up. And there's a need to clear all of this energy out. There's so much of this that just feels so cluttered. That is the word I'm looking at. Um, but yeah, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Journey.
All right. Squirrel. So, looking at this dream and the things that are coming through for me, definitely needing space. But this residential and business aspect of your life, from what it looks like to me, is that the family side of it is the residential, and then there's the business part of your life. And the family, not people close to you, not necessarily have to be family, but people having a lot of judgment about the way you handle business and the way you handle life. It may not be like everybody else about how people want you to do it or how people want you to live your life, and you wanting that space in that big city. It's because you need to have that break. You want to live your life the way you want to, and not the way everybody is dictating, or again, like Kay said, forcing their opinion on you. You know, you need to be able to live for you and not for everybody else. And in this case, you're trying to live that, but their words are cutting you. They're sitting with you, and there's a part of you that's doubting yourself. So that doubt coming in, again, playing on the heartstrings with that green, I'm going to tell you right now that that energy coming through, that forceful energy coming through, is telling you, yes, you may feel this way, but I want to live this way. I want you to live your life the way you want it, not the way they want you to. Don't be forced into something that you don't. I want to look at some of the other things here, because you said that there are potted plants everywhere, because everybody around you is trying to let you. They want you to think that they've rooted, that they're in their final places, and that they're strong, but they're potted plants. At any point in time, they can run out of water, they can run out of food, they can die in those spaces. And what happens? They just get replaced. The thing is that they don't have true roots. They believe that they have their own roots and that they're in their forever place. But at any point in time, someone can pick that potted plant up and move it directly out of your life, or move it to a completely different place, and they'll never have those solid roots in the ground because they are potted. Now, they can be transplanted eventually, but at this point, I don't feel like that. So basically, it's the pot calling the kettle black, trying to tell you how to live your life when they can't even live their own lives. They're not living their life, they're working to work, they're functioning, But that's all they're doing is they're a function. They have their place in society. They don't have real roots binding them anywhere. This is about how people want you, but they can't live their truth, so they're going to tell you how to live your truth. They're going to tell you how to live your life because their life is miserable. Yours is still an open slate. Like you have the capability to do whatever it is that you want. You just got to put your mind to it. Says, I'm listening. I'm just amazed by the input from both sides and carefully considering, laugh out loud. But the thing is that, and I'm glad you are. I need you to hear yourself because your subconscious is telling you that those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, and they're throwing rocks like nobody's business. And you're trying to build a foundation for yourself. You want somewhere to call home and call it solid and know that you're going to be able to provide, and that what you can't provide, the earth is going to be able to provide for you. So you're looking for something that's more permanent. You're looking for something that's going to be this life adventure that you can constantly grow from and always have water, always have food, always have sunlight. Because guess what? If no one comes to water them, if no one comes to feed them, if no one puts them in sunlight, they will wither away. So they're dependent on everything else. They're dependent on someone else. Every single one of these plants are dependent on somebody else. They are not depending on themselves. But yet they're expecting you to be able to depend on yourself. And Squirrel says, for sure, yes. So you see them for what they are, but you're not calling them out for what they are. They're a house plant. They are another pot calling the kettle. You have the capability. You're still a seed. As much as you want to be that sapling, you're still a seed. You may have been a tree prior, but now you've given birth to your own life again. Take that opportunity and run with it. Don't let anybody disappoint you. Fight for what you love. Do what you want. You will be successful. And you'll show those potted plants, I don't need it. I never needed any of you. You were just there for decoration. Thank you. He put, laugh out loud. I have to keep that in mind for everyone trying to tell me what to do in my life. Exactly. I want you to think in their head the minute they start going, you need to do this and you need to do that. So is Greg coming over to water you today, or are you just going to be thirsty? Because you're not doing this shit on your own. You're dependent on somebody else. Scrail, you are going to make it on your own. You are a houseplant. Remember that. Tell them you are a houseplant. Say it in your head. Say it out loud. If you say you are a houseplant, they're going to be like, what? But it'll give you a good laugh to watch them be so damn confused. He put amazing. Thanks so much, both of you. You are so welcome. Just know that people, and laugh out loud, just know that people who love to tell others what to do with their lives, 9 times out of 10, they ain't doing it themselves. And guess what? They're a fucking houseplant. That's how I saw that residential and that business coming together. People trying to tell you how to live your life, what you're supposed to do for money. Don't listen. You get bad advice. Don't get bad advice from a houseplant. They're root bound. They ain't going nowhere. They're thirsty. They're hungry. They're starving for sunlight. You can have all the sunlight, all the water, and all the food you want. You just got to know how to do it. He says, yeah, both of what you said makes sense. I'm so glad. I've been kind of emotionally drained by some people, as Kay said. Exactly. It's them damn houseplants.
Gotta get rid of them.
Get them gone. Get them gone. Get them gone. And it's not that you can't come back and visit a houseplant. It's always going to be in the same spot. Maybe you can water it someday and be like, oh, I knew you were thirsty. Trying to steal my sunlight. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the house plants. Those are the people. Those are the people telling you what you're doing wrong, but yet they're root bound and they can't go anywhere or do anything different. So they won't change either. And they're dependent on somebody else. But they act as though they're doing it all on their own. Nope. They are not. They've got help. It's a lot. That dream was very impactful. Even a house plant being in there, you don't think of that house plant as something that is such a big part of your dream. Just to know, well, there was house plants around. Here we go.
So much symbolism.
So much symbolism. Mm-hmm. Squirrel said, I hadn't considered them all. I haven't considered them at all. Besides, they caught my eye. Exactly. You wouldn't, because you overlook those who are trying to tell you what to do. You overlook them too. You know they're there, but you're just like, okay, yep, okay. I'm trying. And that's what you're going to keep spitting out until you do what you do and blow their minds. And then you get to enjoy that beautiful breeze. You get to see those amazing sunlights, those beautiful rainstorms, and they get watered by Ingrid. Ingrid comes in and starts to water them and feed them every once in a blue moon.
Right.
I had to think of a name real quick. I couldn't think of one off the top of my head. Ingrid was a good one. Wow. Okay, we have done it again. We are over by 7 minutes, but this has been amazing.
Yeah, it's another great show. We definitely enjoy you guys, and we look forward to more dreams.
Absolutely. So, guys, keep those notebooks around. Tell it to your phone. But the more you dream, the more we can explain and help you guys decipher some of the things you guys couldn't catch on to. And that's why we have dreams that we remember, because we didn't understand what the process was. All right, guys. Well, it's been wonderful. We will catch you guys again next week for dream interpretations right here on the Shadow of Dreams. Have a great night. We will see you next week.